Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to the stream. It has been a while, hasn't it? For those of you who aren't completely aware, I've had a lot of fun and games over the last 2 months that have made me pretty much completely unable to do any streaming or any thesis work whatsoever. That's finally started to change now. I've got my equipment together. I actually have good internet that I can actually use to stream. Let me tell you, running off 12 megabytes download and between half a megabyte and at best 1 megabyte upload, this is not a good system for streaming at the very least. Uh, anyway, so we are going to just dive straight back into it. So, for anybody who's not familiar, I'll just cover the basic points. I am streaming a whole lot of Lovecraftian horror games, and just generally Lovecraftian games, in order to incorporate them as part of my thesis into Lovecraftian video games. And to give you a little bit of a visual representation, this is what I'm doing. I am finding a whole lot of video games and I am putting them on the Lovecraftian Horror Pyramid, which is based off of Bernard Perrin's pyramid of scary video games. And right now, over here is basically what we're looking at. These are all the games that I have played so far that have actually ended up on the pyramid. All the games I've played so far are actually all of these ones. There's actually quite a few games that I have played, but just did not even qualify as Lovecraftian. Like, a couple of these may have gotten 1 point, but pretty much all of them got 0. Um, yeah, this is the Lovecraftian Horror Pyramid in sketch form. This is the version that will actually be going into my thesis, except I'll be putting some images and layouts on that. But this is what we're trying to do. This is, at the top of the pyramid, this is the perfect blend. Like, it has all of the points that makes Lovecraft Lovecraftian. Like, you create a definition of Lovecraft, and that's where it is. And then we're just seeing where everything lines up in relation to that. So, having given you that fairly basic rundown, obviously, like, I've got a freaking 25,000 word thesis at the moment, so I go into a lot more detail in that. But we are trying to play as many games as possible in order to get as much data as possible for analysis purposes and just, you know, general feedback and so on and so forth. And today, hopefully we're going to play 2 games today. The first one is going to be Lovecraft's Untold Stories, and the second one is going to be Sucker for Love. And then we might end the evening with some Dead by Daylight, hopefully. Depends on how much time the first 2 games take up. So, let's get this started. Where did... there it is. Okay. Just need to make sure that everything is trucking okay.
The Earth is adrift in a mysterious and limitless cosmos to which mankind is as ignorant as it is insignificant. Those who have left a humanity far behind whisper of the great old ones. Gods, titans, and monsters that comprise and control the very fabric of our malignant reality. In their wake there is only insanity and death. This is why the stories of the rare few to stand against them go untold.
Okay, well, I'm just going to cover it off right now. I'm not very hopeful about this actually being a Lovecraftian game. Um, That intro has convinced me otherwise pretty darn rapidly. That doesn't mean that this isn't a good game. This could actually be a fantastic game. We will see. So, again, I go into this a lot more in my thesis, and I have talked about this previously in my videos before, but there is a difference. There's quite a significant difference between Lovecraftian and Cthulhu mythos, and that difference is the fact that the Cthulhu mythos is mostly the product of August Derleth and is much more quote-unquote Derlethian than it is Lovecraftian. That is a huge conversation unto itself about what these authors represent, what they wrote, what they're trying to do, and what they're trying to be. And even matters of style, just how it's structured and stylistic elements. So this is looking like a game that's going to, almost immediately, this looks like it's just going to be some Lovecraft aesthetic wrapped together in whatever package. Because I actually know nothing about this game except for the title, Lovecraft's Untold Stories. I don't even know what type of game it is. So, like, this might be a role-playing game, because a lot of Lovecraftian games tend to be role-playing games, but it could be something different. Regardless, I'm not very hopeful that this is going to be a strongly Lovecraftian game, but we'll see. Okay, I think I just got an ad. My chat just offered me an ad. I didn't know I could get those. That's new. Cool. Well, and somebody else. Chainmail Jim. Oh, hey, Jim. Hey, man, how's it going? Where do the David Wong books fall on the cosmic horror scale? You know what? I don't actually know. But it's worth noting that Lovecraft is not synonymous with cosmic horror. And that's one of the very important points about what differentiates something that's being Lovecraftian from something that's Cthulhu mythos. Cthulhu mythos is somewhere in the realms of cosmic horror, whereas a lot of Lovecraftian horror is not. It's a big conversation unto itself. One might actually even argue that Lovecraftian horror is more materialist horror than it is cosmic. But some stories are, of course, very heavy on the cosmic horror, and those are the ones that Lovecraft is most famous for. Regardless, let's actually get started on this. Also, hi Jim, thanks for joining us, and thank you for joining over on Twitch, because I can see people chat over here, and I want to get as many people chatting on Twitch as possible, because I want to do a run of Cult of the Lamb, and apparently Cult of the Lamb does Twitch integration, but only if you're an affiliate. So I actually want to get affiliate status on Twitch so that the Cult of the Lamb playthrough is more fun. Regardless, let's get going. For novice story collectors who have played similar games and who would like to prevent the great old ones from winning despite all their horrors. Well, I don't know what this is a similar game to. Oh, that is hilarious. Anyway, for lovers of stories who have never played such games and who would like to try their hand at resisting to the great old ones and their horrors. Alright, lovely. Look, we're gonna go easy. I'm not playing these games for a challenge. I mean, I'll replay them for a challenge if they're good, absolutely. Like Darkest Dungeon, absolutely. Cultist Simulator, absolutely play those games again and again on higher difficulties. But right now we're just trying to get a taste for as much of the game as possible. And as much as I actually tend to prefer to go with like normal difficulty for most games, if this is a story-based game, I want to get through as much of the story as possible. So we're going to go easy, even if it is, you know, the baby mode. Okay. So this is looking like it might be a role-playing type game. Detective John, or it might be a rip-off the Call of Cthulhu board games or something like that. This seems to be just a bit of lore. I have not met these characters. Okay. So, I guess I have to play him because he's the only character I've met. And it's the typical detective, the crossover between Lovecraft horror and film noir private detective stories. I'll read it out. Detective John Murphy, a hard-bitten private eye. Murphy hails from New Orleans Police Department, where he served under the celebrated Inspector Legrasse. Murphy is tough, straight-talking, and has a keen eye for facts and targets. Legrasse has a profound effect on Murphy. It wasn't just the art of detection Murphy learned from the old man. In Legrasse, he found the father figure he'd always liked. Ah, poor duck. But when Legrasse returned from St. Louis, pale and withdrawn, after attending, of all things, the American Archaeological Society, yay, archaeology, their annual meeting, and suddenly retired. It so rocked Murphy he also handed in his notice, unwilling to work under anyone else. Murphy set up his own PI firm. On his desk, Detective Murphy keeps... Why is that happening? Hang on. Go away, noises. Sorry about that. Detective Murphy keeps the exquisitely crafted Gorgon statue Legrasse left him as a parting gift. Okay, well, let's get started. Legrasse's telegram, you retire out of the blue, there's no contact for months, and then just a telegram reading, Murphy, stop Chateau Hill, Massachusetts, stop, bring gun, stop, urgent, help needed, stop, Bayou, Colt, stop. Okay, so the stops would be, it's a telegram, and that's, yeah, it's full stops, basically. Not telling us to stop. Well, I'm here for you, Legrasse. Press any key to continue. WASD. Or mouse. And E button. Alright. Okay. Ooh, I can run diagonal. That's always nice. I have very good eyesight. Look how far I can see. Okay. That was cool. The eyes of eagles! And the somersaulting capabilities of, I don't know. Whoa! Give those eagles back their eyes, Alan. No! They're my eyes now. I guess I have to shoot this? Nope. Do I have limited ammo? I probably do. 100 info, that's good, I guess. Okay, I don't see how I'm supposed to get around this. There we go. Molotov cocktails. Okay, and I use C to wield them, I guess. Several sets of footprints. I'm sure there was a struggle here. This does not look good. And I got some more info. And here you are inside. You are enveloped by the twilight and the smell of old furniture. The walls of this old mansion are thick enough and impenetrable for extraneous sounds. They reliably keep their secrets, and only distant rustles and your heartbeat are audible. I'm wondering if this was originally in English, because the grammar of these sentences aren't completely... like, it's good, but I'm just wondering if it was translation. Do do do. Okay. Ooh. That's pretty. I want one of these in my home. All your base are belong to us. No, it's my base. It belongs to me. And your base belongs to me. All the bases belong to me. And the skulls. All the skulls belong to me as well. Okay. Well, let's go to the right first. And of course it goes down there. Atlas of the Ancient World. I have that in my home. Can I read these things? How do I open inventory? It's like... It can be useful to a time traveler. All the maps in the book are very outdated. Yeah, that sounds about right. So, only for the detective, the best way to blow things up. Equip? Did that change what was there, maybe? Yes. I'm gonna equip the Molotov cocktails for now, because I feel like the TNT might be a slight overkill. Okay. Let's keep going forwards. I don't understand the layout of this house. What are these windows looking into, if not directly into this room? Another Atlas of the Ancient World. I mean, you can never have enough atlases of the ancient world. There's a sheet of paper here with what it seems to be a strange painting of ink splattered on it. To me, looks like the last thing I saw. It represents how I feel. It looks like an object. It looks like an ink splatter. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Rorschach literalist option. It looks like an ink splatter. Okay, nothing fancy going on there. Oh my, a hummingbird. Yeah, we're just going to enjoy the bird. Ah, I was hoping it would sing. Oh, I regained part of my sanity. I didn't know I lost any sanity. Almanac of Occultism. Again, another thing I have in my home. I'm pretty sure that this guy's just exploring my house at this point. Well, my parents' house anyway. Book titled The King in Yellow. I am going to leave it because being an aficionado of... You know what? No, I actually want to see if I go insane. And, oh no, I can't read it now. Ah, I should have read it. I should have read it. Let's go this way. No, yes. Doll of a naked woman. There's an articulated tiny doll of a naked woman with a geisha face paint and black hair, holding a fan up to cover her entire face apart from her black eyes. Let's admire the face in more detail. As I move the arm holding the fan away, the doll swells and contorts in my hand, becoming soft and pulpy, spreading like a diseased tumor, reeking of sweat and blood. I throw it to the floor and stamp on it. Nice. Oh no, my sanity. It's okay. Didn't really need that sanity anyway. Ooh, pretty. Very pretty. Oh! Well, I don't like getting murdered. This is why you bring a shotgun everywhere you go, kids. So... This leads to the other room that I've already been to, I guess. So let's check out this room. Something's very disturbing about this statue. Let's search it. There's an artist's name carved on the base. Daniel Morris. Have I read that name somewhere else? I got 500 infos. Okay, can I bring up the... No, I can't bring the map up any higher. It's a shame, I was hoping to be able to see it all at once, just make sure I haven't missed anything. Oh well. Ooh, we're going down. There we go, that's a thing. Table with a model. Over here, huh, gracious, there's a perfect little model of this very area with a little model of me in there too. I should put my hand in and knock some stuff over. Yes. I was hoping we could go around the front and make a house that doesn't make any sense. Examine the tiara. There's a gold tiara laying here. I'd say it was solid gold, were it not so light and lustrous, tall in front, and seems to be made for freakishly large and round head. It has striking and puzzling beautiful patterns, some simply geometrical, and some plainly marine. And apparently it gave me money. What a nice tiara. No, nothing else in here. Let's keep going down. Didn't I... That was... I should leaf through it. It's an album. It's bound in soft leather with Pond Family embossed on the front. The first photograph I see is a staged sepia image of a rather charming looking family consisting of a young man with somewhat nautical clothing and demeanour, a pretty young wife, and 2 little children. Leafing through the pages like a journey through the family's history. Oh dear, it seems the young mother is unwell. Her skin changes over time and her posture hunches. Maybe she's a fish person. Leaf through it. Oh lord, his wife's ill fortune seems to be taking a terrible toll on the sailor. He now poses far away from her, and the look in his eye, the children and now young adults. But they too have changed, an inherited condition perhaps. Oh no! As I reach the last few images, the wife has vanished, probably dead of her disease, and the children, the last photograph shows the man slumped in a chair, the button of his shirt's mismatched, a bottle of rum open behind him. Only one of his children is in this image, and the young man has already lost both of his ears. Whatever affliction visited the poor family, I hope I never see it firsthand. Woo! Oh! I can melee combat. I didn't know I could do that. I just misclicked. Okay. Anything else in this room? No. An incongruous statue of a kneeling woman, as if she was protecting herself from attackers. It's me. She looks terrified. It's unnervingly realistic, like a tiny 3-dimensional photograph. The proportions are perfect. When I get very close, I could swear I can feel her shallow breath on my skin. Now, I just heard a noise that sounded like I have Facebook open somewhere. Doesn't look like I do. Maybe it was Discord or something? Sorry, I just want to fix this because otherwise I could end up with a lot of bleeps happening over the course of the stream. I don't see it. If I do have it open somewhere, it is incredibly well hidden. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna keep following the wall. Small handmade cloth doll wearing stitched clothes, which looks like a mine. Just like mine. Ah, the clothes just look just like mine. Brain. That makes sense. There's a set of beautiful hand-carved pins next to it, and a little gap in the doll's seams with some stuffing poking out. Ah, let's put the stuffing back in and put the doll back together. Whoop. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, I have an injury. Is that what that is, or is that my sanity? How do I... Let's go away. Is that sanity that's indicating it's been lost? I don't know. This idol has a head with the form of an octopus. Odd. Yeah. I keep accidentally clicking things when I should not be clicking things. Whoa! Okay. Note to self, there's murder. Alright, well tell you what, this is... Oh, am I bleeding out or something? That looks like I'm bleeding out. Let's... Stop the bleeding effect, which I assume is what was just happening. Okay, we are not going further up that way. So, go. Wee wee wee. So glad you noticed that before exsanguination. A newspaper page, wet with blood. Probably my blood. That's probably just where my blood went. It's soaked. The print is hard to make out. Declaration, the governor of New York has released this statement. The laws prohibiting suicide and providing punishment for any attempt at self-destruction have been repealed. The government has seen fit to acknowledge the right of man to end an existence which may have become intolerable to him through physical suffering or mental despair. Well, on the one hand, all of the, does this only apply to men, or does it apply to all people? But, also, that's a lot that we managed to make out, despite how, soaked it is, and despite the fact that the print is hard to make out. I'm very impressed with our reading skills. 1,500 info. That is a lot of info. Okay, that was a lot of death. Given the pretense in these times, it's probably exclusive to men. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. Oh, I just realized, Sanguine Dragonfly, hi! Whoa! There's at least one more. Whew! Anyway, yeah, Sanguine Dragonfly, hi! I thought I was only talking to Jim for a while there. Murder! Yes, all the better. Ooh, history of ancient cults. Oh, I'm bleeding out. Bleeding out. Those are murder holes. We are not stepping on the murder holes. Wait. What the hell's that there? It's not over there. Oh. That's not on the map. That's in the room. It's a thing. Yes. Yes, it's a thing. Still don't know where all those windows go. Darn you murder holes. Oh, I can go around these ones. Every time I hear the doors open, I think it's like a freaking elephant baying or something. This idol has a head with the form of an octopus. Odd. I have a necklace that is an octopus head. And other parts of an octopus. Sanguine gave it to me, in fact. So, yeah. Those doors need lubricant. Everything needs lubricant. Okay, let's continue going left. I just want to try and do the whole follow the wall thing. Legrass's handwriting covers these pages. I can make out Castro and his followers aren't accepted by the Baratarians of the Bayou. They called them Choo-Choo. Insult? The other one wasn't clickable, but was that crate clickable? No. So, I think that is, like, the end game for this level. Just looking at the door shape. So we're going to go everywhere but there. Ooh, but let's have a look at... No. Nope, bleeding again. And I need to remember that there's the quick buttons that are actually down there. That's a thing I should try and remember. Oh, somebody else was murdered here. Somebody who's not me. Trap room, trap room. Book in an unknown language. Once again, we're basically just exploring my house. That's all we're really doing. I want to check out that chest, but I do not want to get murdered, so we're not doing that. Apparently I missed those. Ooh, there was chocolate. Should visit more scary houses. They have chocolate. I never clicked on these. More keys. A set of medieval period European armor. That is not medieval armor. Renaissance at the earliest, that. Let's examine it. It's engraved with the words, bunch of stuff in French. There's a small mirror hanging here. It's Black Mirror. Hey, what a lovely show that is. Looking into what I see, it's just me. I've changed. I look terrible. I look alright considering the situation. We're going with that one. Hey, I healed. Apparently, belief that everything is alright does, in fact, make everything alright. No, absolutely nothing to click on. We're going this way. Ragged pages. They are covered with Legrass's notes. I can make out Chateau Hill, built around a stone circle by Lafitte's outcasts. Why are all the bad guys French? This idol has a head with the form of an octopus. Odd. I think it's cute. Oh, there's a thing in that room that I clearly missed. A decrepit-looking boiler. It doesn't look very safe. Open it and check inside. I opened for a split second. I heard what I thought was a scream, but maybe it was just a hiss of steam. Oh no! There are the charred remains of human hand bones, still clasped together as if in prayer. What happened here? Breakfast. Breakfast happened here. Is that not what everybody else's boiler looks like? Oh, looks like I missed something in that room too. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh no, my inventory is full. Calms the nerves. We're going to use that. I regained some of my sanity. Stop that. Stop that. Silver octopus head. That's what we want. We are going to check out the thing that I missed, apparently. Oh, it's this thing. I guess it looks like an object. Looks like something so normal. It's nice to just see something normal. I guess I regained sanity doing that. Scream, intriguing, wee. Oh, hello, Rose Hawker. I thought you were off playing Valheim. Nice to see you here. I mean, given that neither of them... Well, I mean, the second one attacked me, but he only attacked me after I shot him. I mean, these guys could have just been hanging out in this home, you know? Could have been any number of things could have been going on here, and I just walked in and started murdering them. You are playing Valheim. Well, fair enough. Look at you and your fantastic multitasking. Oh look, a dead end. Oh, not a dead end. It's a man! It's a salesman. H.P. Lovecraft, the salesman. Okay. Yes, I always am not at all suspicious when I walk into somebody's house, into somebody's mansion, and find a mysterious man who just decides to open a shop in front of me and will happily buy the contents of the home I've just plundered. His home, potentially. It's entirely possible this is his house and I'm selling him all his stuff back. I am keeping that octopus head. Golden bug teleports you to a safe random place. Well, that's cool. Small lump of does damage to everybody in the room. Oh, really? Really? Nobody respects the dead. Only worth $1. I am going to hold on to the books. I've got no idea what they're good for, but we will definitely see. And I don't know how my wound is going. Antidote cures the effect of poison, bandages, doctor's bag. That's quite nice. But I don't need the doctor's bag, I don't think. I reckon I can get away with the medkit. I really should sell the rest of these, shouldn't I? Book with pictures. Alright, we're selling the books. What the... Okay. There's, a lot of stuff in here. Where is my money? I don't actually see... Oh, there it is. 1,300. Yeah, I can't afford anything. Selling the books. Goodbye, books. I'm sure I won't need you for any plot reasons. I'm not sure. I received info for selling the books. That's unexpected. Alright. Thank you, H.P. Lovecraft lookalike. I'm now going to loot the rest of this room and sell the contents of this room straight back to you. Yeah. No, not the books. Yes, sell all the books. I mean, they shouldn't be surprised by getting randomly murdered. They're hanging out in a horror game after all. Yeah, you know what? When you put it like that, I can't fault that logic. Alright, we're gonna check out that question mark. That's the main entrance, if I recall correctly, so we're not going that way. Ooh, a bloody key. Ripped notebook page. Paper covered in Legrass's notation. I can make out Chateau Hill put up as bond for the Bail of Castro, the Bayou cult leader. Cool. Alright, I'm just gonna check out that room. It's a trap. Yep, it's a trap room. That's what you get for work! I guess I just got attacked by a thing, and I think I've just been poisoned. Okay, so that was the thing that happened. How dare. Yes, this is a trap room. Trap room, they are here to kill me. Was that a wizard? I'm guessing it was a high priest, but yes, same thing, basically. And now... Alright. I say, let's get briefly murdered by these traps. Screw it. Oh, I should have checked out the chest. Oh well, I can check it out on the way back, I guess. History of ancient cults. Just what we always wanted. What a pretty plant. There's a wild plant over here, just like a Venus flytrap, but much larger jaws. I should tease it with my finger. Yes. Ow! It bit me. Then the damn thing started sucking my blood. Give it more. Oh, and I'm bleeding now. We are doing that. Roaring fire. Usually I find these comforting, but there's something hungry about these blaze. About this blaze. We're going to search the ashes. This fireplace appears to have been used to burn documents. I can't make much out from the fragments of paper, but there are a few names and locations which might help in my investigation. I'll make a note of. A particularly poisonous chap. Oh yes, quite poisonous. Special key, iron lock. Do I have that one? Stop that. Stop murdering me. Actually, hang on. There we go. Now, let's use the thing. That was really close. Supposed to heal all wounds. Maybe I shouldn't have gone through the door and waited. The door of heavy stone slabs has holes cut into it in the shape of an anchor and some kind of octopus. Anchor? Octopus. Hurrah! You know what? I did not expect to be fighting Cthulhu so freaking soon. I pressed tab instead of I. Map explored 90%, secret rooms 1 of 5. There were apparently a bunch of secret rooms that I missed. Mini events completed, 100%. Well, that's nice. Um, you mean getting killed by Cthulhu? Yeah, I got killed by Starspawn, apparently. Okay, look, I'm gonna be honest, that was fun. That was actually quite fun to play. But I think it's safe for me to say that this is not a particularly Lovecraftian game. And I'm actually going to take this opportunity to do two things right now. First off, like, I'm playing... of course, we're playing Lovecraft's Untold Stories first, but the other game I want to play today, I want to play Sucker for Love tonight, and after that, I want to play some Dead by Daylight. And that's a fairly open invite. If anybody wants to join me for some Dead by Daylight, and you already own the game, install it if it's not installed already, and hopefully we will play that tonight. So that'll be a great deal of fun. Oh, I didn't mean to exit. Anyway, the other thing that this is a great opportunity for is I wanted to talk about some of the criteria for defining what is and isn't Lovecraftian. And just kind of quickly, this is just going to be a quick throw-in for where that game kind of fits. So, does it contain a richness of detail that is both precise and overwhelming? You know what? Not really. Does it retell the same story again and again, each time adding more detail? It could still do that. If I played this game a whole lot more, it might do that, but I don't think it will. I honestly don't. So right now we're going to put down that as an M for a maybe. A strong sense of realism except for the element of horror. Did any of that feel even remotely realistic? Any part of it? I'm going to say no. Contains multiple narratives with their own natural climaxes. That one... so far, it also seems to be a no. There doesn't seem to be, like, it just doesn't seem to be there. Focuses on themes of psychic possession, degeneration, both in societal evolutionary terms, the superiority of alien intelligence, forbidden knowledge, cosmicism, and the resilience offered by traditional values. So this is a bit of what I was talking about to you, Jim, earlier. Cosmicism, cosmic horror, is one of many of the themes that Lovecraft explores, and quite a few of his stories do not involve cosmicism. You'll notice I've got the themes under the aesthetic as opposed to horror. And the reason for that is because a lot of those themes aren't necessarily where the horror comes from. It's more like that's the medium of the horror, but the source of the horror, the type of the horror, is actually something else. And both Lovecraft and other authors can very easily take these themes and have them not be horror. And that is why that's in the side of aesthetic and not over on the side of horror. Yeah, it doesn't. This game is clearly not focusing on those sorts of things. Not really. Like, it might mess around with a little bit of base level forbidden knowledge and cosmicism, but I'm going to get to why I don't think that counts once we actually start discussing the horror. The reader and protagonist are always one or more steps removed from the horror. No, we were right involved. Tentacles, mouths, scales, eyes, and body parts, the wrong size, the wrong place, blah, blah, blah. Yes, that is definitely a thing. Like, we did just fight for King Cthulhu. Something exceedingly difficult to describe to others without sounding crazy, such as a mountain that walks or a combination of contradictory features. Now, this one actually could apply. I don't believe it does. But you could make an argument for, like, we looked at those paintings and it asked us, hey, what do I see here? If it had explored that a little bit more, it actually could have ticked this box. But I'm going to say it didn't, and the fact that it didn't means that it probably won't. Again, this is a very tentative, just quick, marking down what I'm seeing so far. Some of these things I may change once I've played it a whole lot more, but this is a fairly good indication, I think, based on the gameplay so far. Uses specific terms coined by Lovecraft himself with intent to be read as connected to those other Lovecraftian tales. Yeah, that is a definite. Although technically we haven't seen any terms that were coined by Lovecraft himself, but the fact that the title of the game is Lovecraft's Untold Tales, I think qualifies on its own. Oh, they did. Did they mention Cthulhu? Was that actually? I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think they have used. Oh, but they did use the King in Yellow, so that's a thing. Um, anyway, the protagonist should be a blank slate character with minimal personality of their own. That one is actually potentially yes. I'm going to put that one down as a maybe, because it really depends on how that plays out. I would actually have to play the game more to determine if that is a thing or not a thing. But I think it actually would end up being a yes, this one. Alright, now we look into the horror. And before we look into the horror, I just want to check. Okay, yep, no. So when I'm on this screen, you can probably see it yourself, but I can't actually see what the chat is saying. So I just had to check. But now let's have a look at the horror content. So belittling of humanity, we are specks of dust compared to the horror. That is definitely a no. Indescribable, must be unseen or indescribable even if seen. Yeah, no. Unknowable, the horror must be both unknown and unknowable. No amount of engagement will permit comprehension, and whatever we learn reveals very, very little. Look, the closest to that I've seen so far is that darn shopkeeper. Like, what the hell, man? What the hell are you doing here? Why am I able to sell the stuff I'm robbing from you in this room? What? Um, that is the most unknowable part of the game so far. Helpless, we are not helpless. Hopeless, we have not been hopeless so far. And it doesn't feel like a helpless or hopeless game. This feels like a power fantasy. Appalling truths, we're not... The game does not appear to be going so far deep enough to actually have appalling truths. Logic of insanity. Alright, so this is what I actually wanted to refer to when I was talking about the themes up above. Oh, sorry, one of my friends has just messaged me suggesting that they're interested in playing Dead by Daylight later, so that is awesome. I don't know if they're watching right now, but that would be awesome if they joined, because they are awesome humans. Regardless, so yeah, like a lot of these themes do not have to be directly tied to horror, but they're also not the source of horror. So forbidden knowledge on its own is just forbidden knowledge. Like, oh look, there's this library and there's the forbidden section that just happens to have, freaking adult content. Cool. That's the forbidden knowledge section. That doesn't necessarily make it in any way horror. But when you combine it with the logic of insanity and the appalling truths, then that becomes a medium for those types of horror. So, but any of these can be a medium for those types of horror, and that's how I'm differentiating between the themes and the source of horror, because this is less of a theme, more a source. Anyway, this one is the terrifying one. Part of the horror should be fueled by real-world stereotypes, held by the audience to help build the horror and suspense. In Lovecraft, this is typically racism, but it's not necessarily so. This is one of those ones that I often don't want to see in the game. Like, I am happy when it's not there, but there's been at least one game, possibly a couple of games, but at least one game that has actually ticked that box, and it's been a positive. Like, it's actually been good that it did this, because it explored that concept legitimately. And by legitimately, I mean in a way that's acceptable to modern audiences and isn't just a problem. Anyway, the only salvation may be found in the resilience offered by traditional values, but it only delays the inevitable. It does not offer an escape. This is a really interesting one. Because, and it comes up earlier as well. Where was it? Here we go. Focuses on themes and the resilience offered by traditional values. So those two are really tightly related to one another, obviously. But Lovecraft really does have this concept that it's like psychological scarring. Traditional values are a bulwark against it and allow you to uh, resist it to a certain extent, but only so long as you hold on to those values. And part of the logic of insanity is about losing those values, or those values simply not being enough. And this is how a lot of these things tie together, because the generation of society and all that sort of thing. Like, he relates all of those sorts of things together quite a bit. But it's also very important that it is traditional values, because while some of Lovecraft's protagonists have been addicted to laudanum or drink alcohol or things like that, those are, as far as I'm aware, universally, but I'm currently rereading all of Lovecraft's works to confirm that. Um, those tend to be people who have already succumbed to the madness, and this is the only way that I get any form of joy. This is just delaying the inevitable. It's not really resistant, because they've already accepted the horror. Um, Whereas the concept here is more about resisting the horror, and it's an interesting dynamic. But when the character in the Lovecraftian story is using laudanum, this is a sign of them being degenerative. This is a sign of them collapsing. This is the sign of them having lost societal values and traditional values, and that they are losing the battle. So it's always kind of fascinating whenever I see in any of the games where, hey, look, drink some alcohol or do some gambling in order to recover your sanity or something like that. Just like, yeah, that is actually the exact opposite message that Lovecraft is saying. If you're drinking alcohol, that means you're losing the battle. It basically means you've already lost. But yeah, so that is the criterion, and we just ran it through that. And just like that game had, it's ticked none of the horror boxes and only aesthetic. Which, if we come and have a look, you'll notice that is pretty much what we see all the time. A lot of games are falling on the side of aesthetics, and very few are on the side of horror. So that is going to be part of the discussion of my thesis. What we're seeing here, what that means, how these things... There's going to be a lot of discussion and analysis in the thesis itself. But, yeah, that was a nice little introduction to what we were doing. Alright, so, unfortunately, I haven't fixed the chat functionality yet, so I can't actually see while playing or while doing the stream how many people are still in the chat or observing. For all I know, I could have a dozen or more people watching over Facebook or Twitch, or we may have regressed to zero while I've been talking. But if anybody is still here, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to tell me, would you like for us to continue and take another crack at Lovecraft's Untold Tales, or shall we switch over to Sucker for Love, which is a Lovecraftian dating sim? So, I know that Jim, in particular, Chainmail Jim, strongly recommended that I play Sucker for Love. So if Chainmail Jim is still around, this is definitely a game for him. And if he's not still around, somebody should totally message him and tell him that it's that we'll be starting that potentially soon, because I know he wants to watch me play that. But otherwise, does anybody have any preferences? Does anybody want to see more of me take another crack at Untold Tales? Or would we like to jump straight into Sucker for Love? While you guys decide that, actually, you can message to me. I am going to stop the stream. That way, when it transfers over to YouTube, it'll be one game at a time. No preference, although the dating sim sounds quite hilarious. That is very much what I'm expecting. I've done one other dating sim Lovecraftian dating sim already, which is I have forgotten what it was called. Um, do 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 do. I want to find out what the name. Oh, Mythos Ever After. That's what it was. I did play Mythos Ever After. It's not a very good recording, because we're having all the connection issues. Was having all the connection issues and such when I was recording that one, but yeah, that was entertaining, and from what I understand, Sucker for Love is even more entertaining. So, yeah. Um, but, alright, so, Sanguine Dragonfly, you have no specific preference. Um, if anybody else has a preference, feel free to message it to me over Facebook, or even reply to this chat, because I will see it regardless of whether I'm streaming or not. But we will stop this stream, and in about, let's say in about 5 minutes, I will come back to the stream with whatever game we are playing, whether it's more Untold or some Sucker. Alright, farewell, and thank you for watching, listening, all that.